Well, less than a month until the Breeders' Cup, and it kind of shows. We're into the month of October. We've got the Keeneland Fall Meet opening. That's what we're going to talk about pretty much exclusively today. We'll mix in a couple of the other big 2-year-old races as we talk about that in the second segment, the up-and-coming type Kentucky Derby horses. But before that, Bailey has been to Keeneland a lot. I've been to Keeneland a bunch. We're going to talk about what to do there, what we love about it, get you fired up for the meet. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the racing there as well this week, particularly the Saturday Stakes. But it's Horse Sense up next.
Welcome back to another episode of Horse Sense. As always, I'm Bailey Armour, joined alongside world traveler here, Scott Shapiro, taking a look at all things Keeneland this weekend. We're filming this as usual on Thursday morning, so Keeneland will open tomorrow and run all weekend, and then pick back up next Wednesday. Now, with that, of course, there's plenty of exciting things going on at Keeneland this weekend. We're going to talk about some of these races. Torpedo Anna's running on Sunday. I'm going to be there, so if you see me, feel free to say hey. But we've got a new promotion that we're launching this month that's going to run every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from now through October 26th. So that's the weekend just before Breeders' Cup. It is our Breeders' Cup Bankroll Builder. So you're going to unlock a $5 bonus every time you bet $25 or more in single race wagers on 12 different races that are all going to be on the promo page. This weekend, it is the Alcibiades at Keeneland on Friday, the American Pharoah at Santa Anita on Saturday, and then the Prix de Arc de Triomphe. I'm not even going to try to say it in a French accent because you would not like it. Yeah, exactly. See, I'll leave that to Scott, the fancy accents. I've only got the one at Longchamp on Sunday. So every time you bet $5 or $25 or more, you're going to get $5. That's going to unlock on Breeders' Cup morning. So Friday, October 31st, you can earn up to a $60 bonus.
Question
Answer.
From a betting customer.
Yes.
So that means the day, and I know this will be up a little bit better for everybody to take a look at on the promotional landing page. So obviously you got to go there to register. But
that's right.
But so you have to bet on that one, not have to, but you're going to bet on the one race, $25, and it opens up $5 that gets stored away each time you do it.
Yeah, you're basically like squirreling your bankroll, your extra bankroll away for Breeders' Cup. So $5 or more, it'll like add to your basket, your counter, whatever you want to think about it in your mind.
25, you have to bet 25, but no more than that doesn't help you, right? So like,
yeah, no more than that doesn't help you.
So just to win is the same as $25 in trifecta bets or whatever, but $50, I don't get $10, right?
No, you don't get $10. Okay, so just 25.
So everybody understands.
A single race, yeah. So no like doubles or like if you include them in your pick 3 or pick 6, whatever, like that doesn't count. It just has to be on that one race. And there's plenty of there's a lot of Santa Anita races in there. There's Keeneland races. There's even some like the Champion Stakes at Ascot later this month will be in there. The Maryland Million. So there's kind of a wide variety of races to pick and choose from. You don't have to bet all of them. You can just bet one and then you'll get an extra $5 and you'll be on your way. But that full list is going to be on the promotions page, both on Xpressbet, desktop, mobile, app, etc. Wherever you choose to get your information, you can find it all there. Yeah.
Sounds fun. Well, so was the BCBC, Bailey. I've never played it. Big money though, and buying your way in is one way to do it. A lot of people are not willing to do that. So the next best thing, kind of the middle way, you can play in the small qualifiers, right? But it's hard. Obviously, you got to build up to get the entry fee, which is massive. Well,
tough.
$1,000 qualifier, BCBC this week at Xpressbet. So, it gives you a realistic shot of winning. You don't have to be perfect on the day. It's just 1 in 10, right? So, so that's the headliner on the tourneys menu. As always, the tournaments tab and is the place to go for that. Much like the promotional landing pages are on the promotions tab, and I'll be having another Spaces, as you might have thought.
Ooh, who's on?
Keeneland, and we got a big name back, if you ask him, Eddie DeRosa.
I was gonna guess. Next time I'll have to guess.
It's been a few months since I've had old Eddie on, but Yeah, Keeneland. I think he's going Saturday, so it'll be a good fit. You're going on Sunday, right?
2 ships in the night, just on Sunday, I think. I don't know. We've got a friend coming into town this weekend, so maybe Saturday. But those weekend days get busy, especially when you've got company in town. Can't
No
go wrong
doubt
with going
about
to
it. But
Keeneland,
we'll,
though.
well, no doubt. But we'll talk about that coming up very, very soon. In fact, coming up. Well, Bailey, there's a couple of times I remember more than others going to Keeneland, and whether they're the fall or the spring, different feels in the air. Obviously, spring. I love the springtime feel in Kentucky. It's my favorite, but I think a lot of that is, the weather, and you get out of the winter, which is everywhere, but more so that derby feel. So it's very
Yeah.
unique. But just going to Keeneland, I remember with Churchill my first time, and both of these trips came before I ever knew I would remotely live in Kentucky. In fact, I probably never even thought it would remotely happen. I disliked their college hoops team a lot a decade ago.
Tough break for the Wildcats.
But anyway, it just wasn't a state I thought I'd live in. But I drove across country a couple times, and one of the times I stopped at Churchill, in Louisville. I went to Churchill a couple of days. But Keeneland was actually a specific trip. I think it was like 2013 or 14, a little bit after I got on Twitter, and I'd met a few people that I knew that would be there, kind of thing. But man, it was like Keeneland is really, really cool and really unique. I think in a way that Saratoga is, not necessarily the town itself, but the setting there, and it's just, I know it's very special to you too, and you live very close these days. Talk about your favorite couple of your favorite parts of Keeneland. Without get into it too detailed, but and then your plans. You said you're going Sunday, and things that you're going to do if you're maybe for people out there that haven't been or are going to be going this fall and have only gone a couple times.
Yeah, if you haven't had the chance to go, you've definitely got to get out here. Let me know if you're coming to town. I'll give you some recommendations on places to eat, places to stay, stuff to do when you're here in town. Lexington's a great place. I've lived here now for I just hit 10 years of living in Lexington. I moved up here for college in August of 2015. And that was the first time that I actually went to Keeneland. Keeneland was actually the second track that I had ever been to. My first track was Ellis Park because I'm from Georgia, so obviously no horse racing there. But my stepdad's from Henderson, so we would go up there sometimes to visit his family and then go to Ellis. So I grew up kind of going to Ellis, but like we lived so far away from any actual horse track. So when I got to go to Keeneland for the first time when I was a freshman in college, and that was American Pharoah's Triple Crown year as well. And that was the year that he won the Breeders' Cup Classic I think it was on Halloween that year in 2015. Or it might have been just like this year, like the day after Halloween.
It was a Halloween parade. They all scratched out so he could win. It was a parade, I remember.
Yeah, and there was a UK home game that day, and like everybody was going in costume. It was crazy that was 10 years ago now. But ever since then, it's always been such a really special place to me. I mean, I don't even know how many times I've been to Keeneland now over the years.
You lived there because of Keeneland, partially?
I mean, it kind of shaped the course of my life to get me to this point, honestly, not to get too sentimental about it, but like going to Keeneland and actually falling in love with horse racing firsthand when I was in school at UK I went to college for horses.
You were at UK before you went to Keeneland, though, is my guess.
Yeah. I had been at UK for like a month, basically, before I went to Keeneland. So going to actually be around stuff that I had only ever seen on TV. I grew up with horses in Georgia, but not with racehorses or anything. So this was something that like every, little horse girl from all around the country kind of dreams about seeing as like actual horse racing in person. So saw him win the classic and was like, oh wow, like how can I get more involved in this? And it kind of spiraled from here. And now every Thursday we get to get on this podcast and talk to each other. So we have Keeneland to thank for that.
And it brings us to the present where it's opening, and you're gonna take friends there, you said, for the first time, or no?
No, not for the first time. A friend of mine, Taylor, is coming into town this weekend. So she lived here for a while, also went to school here, and then moved down.
Shout out Taylor from UK.
Shout out to Taylor from UK. So she's coming in this weekend, and we're gonna go on Sunday to go see Torpedo Anna run. For all of my hype about Torpedo Anna for this entire time, I haven't actually seen her run in person. So that's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most this weekend, outside of
I'm wondering.
hopefully some good wagers.
Let me
What
see
are
if
you
I can
wondering?
one up you. I might have seen her run. I think live. I think I was. I think I was on air for her. Is it possible? I think
For
we
Oaks
should.
last
Yeah,
year?
yeah, because her Oaks win was like right after I moved. So her
Were you
debut
there?
was in Churchill, right?
Yeah,
Hello. Yeah, I
I
was
guess you did. Damn, how did
there.
you
Every
beat
Churchill
me?
race for about 5 or 6 years. I was there, other than a few days. But yeah.
That's
So
incredible.
well, good. I mean, I know I get accused of being a hater, which is wild on it. From a wagering perspective, I think she's
No.
been at times. She's been good lately, but at first, I mean, I loved her. Brian Hernandez Jr. Hopefully, he's continuing to get better. A guy that I knew
Bless his
pretty
heart.
well, and and Kenny McPeak. It seems like it back then. Kenny McPeak hadn't won either of the races, and then he wins both. Same
I
with
know.
Brian, but good stuff. Well, there's a lot of other good racing. I haven't really gotten to Sunday yet, other than I looked at that race, which is Nitrogen is in there too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far either.
Yeah.
I've mostly looked at Friday and Saturday so far. I mean,
Well,
it's only Thursday. There's plenty of time to handicap Sunday's card.
yeah. So, but depending on when people are watching this, they might watch it on Saturday. Not that you needed to have it done, but I was just letting people know. Personally, I hadn't gotten there yet because we're recording this on Thursday morning. But
We're
you've
rowing in
got
the same
a
boat.
couple of, I think, underwhelming grade twos on Saturday, which is where I have a blog up. The All States pick 5. I'll have a blog up by the time everybody listens to this on the sequence, but you got a couple okay grade twos. I know you're going to probably excited for the Woodford because it's turf sprint. That's a good race. They're decent.
Oh yeah.
The Thoroughbred Club of America, that is a very underwhelming race. Vava is a horse that I'm going to try to beat in there just because she hasn't been herself, but if she doesn't beat that field. But then you got the 3 grade 1s. You've got the First Lady, which has been the Chad Brown Invitational. He's won it 7 straight years. He's got 2 in there. Full field, standing room only. There's also eligibles. Doesn't seem like the Chad scared anybody away, but a very good race. Dynamic pricing is the very lukewarm favorite in there. And then you have the Breeders' Cup Futurity, which is part of what we'll talk about in the next sequence, our next segment, because we're going to introduce you to the fact that we got a whole new crop that we'll be talking about for months and months that pretty much gets center stage starting now, moving into the Breeders' Cup. And then you got the big one, the $1.25 million Coolmore Turf Mile, where you've got a European import in Diego Velasquez, as well as a Wood Shauna. And you've got program trading, rhetorical, brilliant birdie. It's another full field, suggesting that maybe again there's no world beaters. But is there any of those races, other than the Breeders' Futurity? But what stuck out to you other than Anna? I know you're going Sunday, but was there anything Saturday that really? I mean, this is the card there, and the weekend for the fall.
Oh yeah. I mean, these 3 days are going to be crazy for sure. What can I get your take on? If do you mind if we skip back to Friday instead and talk about the Alcibiades for a second?
Sure.
Okay.
But I
I
didn't. I looked at it, but I looked at the. But I didn't record anything for it yet, so I did more work so far on the Jessamine. I did that deep. What do you? Oh, this race. No, I
yeah.
looked at it. There wasn't a lot to it. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I mean, is there any fault to Tommy Joe that we're not seeing? I mean, she won that race at Saratoga, the spin-away by 6, which is crazy. They had the 2 juveniles, same owner, same trainer, same jockey connections, those like back-to-back days. Who knows if they'll be able to repeat that this weekend? But what is your
Yeah, bad
any
bet.
reason to be
I mean,
cold
she's.
outside of that aspect?
What was the last part? I'm sorry. I was beginning to.
No, you're good. You said bad bet, and I said outside of that aspect, like she's 2 to 5 on the morning line.
Yeah.
So
Here's my take. She should definitely win, but if you're looking for me to poke holes in her, it's a little easy because she's never raced outside of New York. She's never gone 2 turns. And then her dam, who I remember very well, Mother,
Yeah.
You might as well. This was a filly for Baffert that was 3-5 at Del Mar on
I
debut.
do
Run
remember
easy.
this mare.
Yeah, ran second to Bella Fina in the Del Mar. She was very useful, but she didn't get better as the distances got longer, and she didn't get better
Mm-mm.
as time went on. So, you got that factor if you want to. I mean, that's obviously a major part of her pedigree, but I don't know how much that really matters in
Would
this case.
you single her in pick
I
3,
wouldn't
4,
play
5?
a sequence with her because everybody's going to single her. She's going to be like 1 to 100 in those pools, right? I would
What, the
only
100?
play
Yeah.
the. I would only play. No, I mean, really, nobody's
No,
going to leave her up.
seriously.
Yeah, I
No.
mean, so I'm going to leave her. I just wouldn't be into it. She looks like a free square, basically, but
Mm.
things could happen, right? There's 3 new things there, So I don't have any creative thoughts trying to beat her, but I would only play a horizontal around her for anything significant, unless if I was trying to beat her.
That's valuable insight. Thank you. That is
But
pretty
that's
much
your
exactly.
choice. Like you might have
Yeah.
a price in the race before, right after, and play a double, and you get more than the win price. You know what I mean? So like, there's other
Mhm.
situations and circumstances in the Alcibiades. I mean, in the Alcibiades produces good horses always. I mean, she's going to
Oh,
be
always.
well. Yeah, the Jessamins got the time to dream, the filly for Pletcher, who's the one that beat, but drew way outside. But her races are visually impressive. Um, that's a good race as well. I don't like any long shots in there either. So to me, it's just not one of the
Not a
sequences.
great sequence for
Not
that
not for
double
me.
then.
Not for me. I mean, but if you beat those horses, you
No,
know,
I was hoping you had something creative in the double from the adjustment to this one, but sometimes they just stack up that way.
indeed. All right. Well, part of this weekend always is the grade 1 2-year-old races as we start to think ahead towards the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and of course, way ahead to the Kentucky Derby. But you know me, Bailey, and I've kind of made you one even more so than you already were. But like just a Derby prep lover.
Mhm.
I find those races as fun as the lead up is great, but I like handicapping those races. I feel like there's opportunity there. But this is the beginning, right? Like we saw the 2-year-olds start in April and May, and they're just kind of sprinters, very sprinty, four and a
Very
half, 5
sprinty.
furlongs. A lot of the horses for most of these barns are just horses that matured early, earlier
Mhm.
than their crop, or however that came to be, but precocious for whatever reason. And then you start to see some of the bigger ones, not the big ones, not all necessarily 2-year-old in training. There's some big ones that debut early, but overall, the ones that, the top barns think are their legit Derby type horses. You'll see them start to come out, or we might be, pretty much starting that now, or maybe a little bit earlier. And it's fun, you start to
So
wonder,
fun.
can they get the distance? Are they good? And you can look at things like, did the trainer have them cranked? Do they thinking? There's a lot of angles, and that's why that's why applying angles is part of the deal here. But let's talk about these 3 races, and I'll introduce them, and I'm interested to hear kind of why we're gonna pinpoint you for a race that you want to bet and why, basically, and then we'll see what we can come
I'm
up.
excited about this one. I'm like vibrating here in my seat.
Confident
I
to
can't
bet
wait to
like a good
yeah,
like a good 2-year-old.
as some could say, chomping at the bit, yes, to get to
All
this
right.
one. But please,
Well,
go ahead.
so we've got the Champagne at Aqueduct at 3:20 Eastern, 12:20 Pacific. That'll start at 1 turn mile. That's key there. And this is a big field, but it's our time. I don't see how he's not a really big favorite here. Looks like it's a
Oh,
pretty
easily.
legitimate group, but man, Hero Declared was the buzz of buzzes for Whit Beckman at Saratoga. If you were following Saratoga at all, you heard about this horse before, because Whit, for the first time, was like touting another horse while they were asking about his own another horse. So he was like 2-5, and this horse made that horse look like chopped liver. 17 length win in a race with the biggest. And I thought Hero Declared ran fine, and this horse was just an absolute monster. All the Tom Amoss horses, a lot of them ran very well at the meet. We'll talk about another one that won that isn't as highly regarded, but to me, it's our times race to lose. It's a 1 turn mile. Tom Amoss brought him back to Kentucky, and then took him back. I guess he likes the 1 turn mile fact because he is leaving opts for this instead of Keeneland. That's an interesting thing to consider. We'll talk about the Breeders Futurity, which is the other race he probably thought about in a moment. And we had the American Pharoah out west. Bob Baffert, shockingly, has 4 of 6 in here. He's won this race 13 times already. And I'm going to go out on a limb, Bailey, and say he's going to make it 14.
I would have to say so. Law of averages, right?
And then we've got the Breeders Futurity, which is always a fun race. Been there a couple of times for the Breeders Futurity and for this day. You've got Ted Naffy, though, who's going to be a very short price in there after just a huge step forward in the hopeful. You've got Ewing, who's got the name but hasn't had the number so far. You got Baffert shipping one in. So he could have ran 5, but he's shipping litmus test in for a true litmus test. So that's an interesting race. Which one? And Big Dom is the other Amos in there. You know he's named after or for?
No, tell me.
Yeah, those out there are going to understand. The bodyguard for the Eagles head coach. Have you ever seen him, Big Dom?
Never. Not one time.
The only reason the Eagles have been good lately.
I'm going to Google him right now.
He's like a big, and he's total Philly. Total Italian big guy.
Domenico DeSandro.
Yeah, he's
Big Dom. Wow, that is a big guy.
Yeah.
No, I have never seen this guy before.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm
pretty sure that's who he's named after.
A lot of NFL bodyguards.
But the timing of it, I feel like that's pretty likely. But so anyway, which of those are you going to stay local? Which of those races? They all are going to have kind of lighter price or bigger price favorites to an extent. I think maybe the one out west might have a more compact, but I don't know. It'll be interesting how these races are bet.
Yeah, this is always probably one of my 5 favorite weekends out of the fall. That was too many F's to say at one time. My bad, y'all. Outside of Breeders' Cup weekend, obviously, but I'm going to keep it local with the Keeneland race. Admittedly,
what do you like most about that race, or like what attracts you to that race?
Well, let me walk you through my line of thinking, right? So we looked at all 3 of these, the New York race, the California race, the Kentucky race. I'm taking a look at the California race, and this American Pharoah is basically a repeat of the Del Mar Futurity, right? With the exception of litmus test. Desert Gate is back in. Doug O'Neill's Silver Liberty is back in. Balboa is back in. But they put litmus test on the plane and they send him here against Ted Naffy and Ewing instead of running, 5 of 6 Bafferts in the American Pharoah. So the fact that they sent him all the way out there, that was like what piqued my interest and made me focus more so on this race. And then taking a look, watching a replay of that race. So obviously he lost the Del Mar Futurity to Brandt, right? Who everyone was super, super keen on. It's like he got weirdly a little bit squirrely in the final 100 yards or so. I'm not very great with visual distances. I couldn't tell you exactly how far 100 yards is. I know it's a football field, but like I couldn't look at 100 yards. So it might not be an actual 100 yards, but I digress. Got a little squirrely there, right at the finish of that racing. Not like he was fully lugging out like Sierra Leone used to, but just like bobbled a minute, kind of bounced against, was it Civil Liberty there? Yes, it was Civil Liberty. And then eventually finished 3rd by a nose. But then they clearly are so happy with the way that he ran that race. So they put him out here. Baffert is 32% on the year, 34% in sprint to routes, and 53% 2 sprints stretching out to route. Have you ever seen 53% before for a $2.63 ROI?
ROI probably not a fad, but those are big numbers. Bob has some.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, because whatever you want to say, love or hate him, he knows how to train a racehorse,
and a 2-year-old at that.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how to get them ready, and that's why it worked for the Derby for so long. His horses always were ready to fire the best shot,
exactly. Like this is the Baffert school of 2-year-old prep horses into dominant like 3-year-old Derby colts, right? Like this is exactly the kind of horse that you want to see. Looking for their juvenile bid from this weekend. And why would you take him all the way here? If you maybe is he not as good as that California?
I can see it both ways. He was 15-1 in the race. I don't want to put too much into that, but maybe he's the lesser. But I could also see the case for saying, the one negative I would say in that reel is that they're running the Breeders' Cup in California, this is a lot to ask of a horse if he thinks he's his one. We know he doesn't think his is one, though. And we've seen Bob have 3 or 4 or 5 good ones and one step up above others. Look, and I mean, Citizen Bull before the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year was not the one that was expected to be the winner, right? So,
right.
But I would be a little concerned that he decides to ship this one out after not taking money. But you should get a good price. I mean, is that what? So you're attracted to this race because you think you found a value horse in here, right?
Exactly. That's like the final clinch nail in the horseshoe, basically. Like stacking up all these things, they're like dominoes that just keep pulling me back to this horse in this race. I mean, no knock to Ted Nafi, a 98 buyer for a 2-year-old was incredible. Like obviously that's a very talented racehorse, but if they know that they're trying to win their way into the juvenile, and maybe he thinks that he's already got the California race, the American Pharoah in the bag, he wants to pick up another entry. Why pick this horse specifically if you didn't think that he had a really, really strong chance to win?
Well, I also think that the other thing that might be obvious that we didn't mention that is that, well, no, they're both 2 turns, so yeah. I mean, I just think
it's good, right?
What's that?
It's good, right? It's a good thought process.
Well, I mean, you're going to get a price. I mean, you're a fluid thinker. I don't think you're going to not think well. It's analytically makes sense. But to me, like, I would just debate that I would lean more the other way. But what matters is you're going to get the price, right?
Yeah.
Like, if this horse is 2-1, then you need check a lot more boxes, right?
Right. If he was 2-1, I probably wouldn't give him another sniff.
Now he's going to be 2-5 or something.
Oh yeah. What is he right now on the morning line? 4-5. Presently.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's going to get hammered. You look inside. To me, I mean, you look inside. It's tough to make cases for the others. Not that they can't run, because they all, that's the problem with taking a real short price in this race. You look at the field and nobody's done anything wrong. It's just kind of assessing what we saw already.
Right,
but
which is the fun of 2-year-old races, right?
It's great. So all right, so let's talk about betting before we wrap it up.
Yes, please. I would go cold exacta litmus test over Ted Nafi.
Okay, well, why would you not
think about
litmus test to win?
Well, I would too, in addition, right?
So to me, and this is actually an interesting topic because, I mean, I haven't really dove into this, and the data is probably very much there for the taking. I used to remember people, the thought process that playing the chalk for second actually is beneficial. You would think it wouldn't make sense, right? You'd think everybody, like the chalk for second, everybody's going to do that, but it doesn't really work out that way, because if you don't like the chalk to win the race, there's a solid chance you don't like them for second. But then you have people playing them on top more. So I would look at the probable. That's the good thing about it, and just compare the win price to what, you kind of got to be a little advanced here to assess what your thought of Ted Nafi beating the rest of the field and not beating litmus test is,
Yeah.
That's what you're asking. So how much more do you need to get paid on your every $2 for a litmus test to win the race and not have to worry about who runs second? Because there's a gross feeling if you don't want to, you never want to bet a long shot to win and need the chalk for second, right?
Right.
And then not cash with nothing else. And that's the worst feeling in the world. So you always want to have the win back. I would put a much heavier slice to win, and let the back of the exacta be the back, the bet it so it's like, a win, an additional scoop,
Yeah, to go alongside that. Do you have another horse in this race that you like outside of Ted Nafi? Or maybe have I convinced you on litmus test?
No.
Probably not. No.
It's not that you didn't convince me. I'm just looking at it. I just can't find the reason why shipping them is like, you can look at it both ways, but I just don't see it as the ultimate positive to not run them. And it's also, he was 15. I don't know. What were the other horses in there, right? Desert Gate was 6. Civil Liberty was 15-1 as a maiden. Balboa was 28. So I don't know. Maybe I'm over it. Maybe I'm making too much of that. The Del Mar race, he was even money. You get Pratt. I mean, I don't hate it. What's his morning? I can't. We don't know yet. That's right.
Litmus test or someone else?
Oh yeah, it's Keeneland. What's his litmus? What's his
litmus test? Morning line's 8-1.
Yeah. Okay. And Ewing is what?
Ewing is 9-2.
Ewing to me stretching out is a big question mark.
I feel like I haven't been able to get behind this horse, and I don't necessarily have like a great reason other than I just don't. I mean, I don't hate him. I'm not like
Well,
fired up,
you know who I'm not gonna
passionate
tell?
against him. Yeah, don't tell
I'm
them.
not gonna tell Griff.
Don't tell Griff. He's a cute horse. I haven't found anything that's really like drawn me to him yet. As always, thank you so much for watching another episode of Horse Sense. I'm Bailey Armour and was joined alongside my fantastic co-host Scott Shapiro talking about Keeneland opening this weekend, some of these 2-year-old races, and kind of everything in between there. Like I mentioned, make sure that you opt into that Breeders Cup Bankroll Builder promotion with the full list of races on the promotional page. We didn't get a chance to mention, but the new Sunset 6 that we talked about last week will also have a promotion from Xpressbet and FirstBet all month long in October, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday that wager is offered. You'll get 10 times bonus points, 10 times first rewards points for betting that with us here at Xpressbet and FirstBet. So make sure you give that one another look too as well. I know that that one's been maybe a little bit of a tough nut to crack, but one that I'm sure Scott and I will have to take another look at, especially considering those extra bonus points. For a full list of everything that's going on this weekend, make sure you check out the promotions page on expressbet.com or the promos tab in the FirstBet app, wherever you choose to get your promotions, and let us know who you like in these big races at Keeneland this weekend, and say hey if you're going to be there on Sunday. Good luck this weekend, and we'll see you next time on Horse Sense.